Hey guys, it's Meg. I am here this week with a new video for you. This is going to be our tarot reading for the week. So if you guys want to get a message from the cards, come on in, have a seat, and we'll get started in a moment. Just a few quick housekeeping things for you. Number one, if you like what you see in the video, please consider hitting the like, subscribe, and the bell buttons. That way you can stay in the loop for when I post new work. It also lets me know and is kind of a boon to my confidence um, because that lets me know that you guys like what I'm making for you and you want to see more. I love making these videos for you guys. I hope that comes across. Um, Number two, if you guys want to see more from me outside of YouTube, all of my social media links are listed in the description. I've included a list of the decks I'm using for this reading, timestamps. I have some show notes and focus energy for you guys that all of that's in the description if you want to check all of that out. And finally, if you guys would like private readings with me, I am open for private readings. There's a link to my tip jar if you want to get in touch with me about that. Please, please let me know what you guys think. I welcome feedback. I welcome comments. I'm happy to open a conversation with you, but let's keep it civil. Let's keep it open-minded. Um, hopefully I can help answer your questions. I can give responses to your feedback should you have any. Please leave that in the comments. Private message me if you feel the need to. If you have any feedback, I welcome it. Okay, so let's get started with the cards. I did pull some focus energy for you guys. There's a photo over the top of this if you want to see the cards I'm using for this. Again, check the description if you want to see where these cards came from. Okay. But when I looked at the cards, there's this feels like there's this energy of change happening. There's a lot of change happening. In fact, I feel like a lot of the readings that I have coming through right now are about these major changes. Okay. But the question attached around this is whether you're actually letting them in because you realize these changes are going to help you grow, or whether you're avoiding making those changes because they're scary, right? I get it. I don't like change. I'm averse to anything that kind of picks apart my comfort zone. I don't like being uncomfortable. Maybe you're kind of the same way. That's okay. That's okay. That's the reality. That's the way you're experiencing the reality of the situation, right? Um, Another thing that came through is that there might be some questions in terms of being able to maintain your spiritual, emotional, and mental well-being. Okay. And here's the thing that might be putting that in your brain here. We talked about the change. Um, Maybe there's some changes in your environment that are affecting these things, right? Okay. Um, some of you are going through what could be considered you're chasing instant gratification because you potentially don't want to face what is changing or what is moving around, and there could be some stress weaknesses, perceived weaknesses, I should say, uh, stresses, perceived weaknesses, anxieties around what's changing. Okay, around what's changing. I think this is probably around a perceived lack or loss. Okay, uh, things to remember. Okay, you whether you realize it or not, that you are safe, okay? You are guided. It's a matter of putting yourself in a place where you can receive what you need, okay? Um, you can receive what you need, and there is a period of renewal and an increased self-sufficiency on the other side of these changes, okay? And the way that I'm seeing this, okay, um, because you know how trees grow, they put rings on their bark as they're coming out. There's a better way to put that. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to put that. However, the metaphor that I'm trying to get across here is that you're the tree and you're growing. It isn't that you're leaving behind where you've been, okay? You're putting another ring on your trunk, and that's informing your story. That's helping show you where you've been and where you are now. Okay. Um, it's just the question of, are you actually welcoming these changes in, or are you avoiding them because they're scary? And are you avoiding them so you can stay comfortable, air quotes, because I don't think I don't think stagnating is actually going to help you achieve your goals, right? Hopefully that made sense. Let's see. Let's finally get into our cards. What do we need to see here? Okay. If this is your first video with me, hi, hello, thank you for being here. I am very excited to have you. But we're going to start with some oracle cards. We're going to get into our tarot. We're going to hopefully clarify all of the information that we're getting from the cards right now. Okay, so let's get started here. Okay, we're going to start with elixir, which represents forgiveness, remorse, and guilt. Okay, there is elixir. Okay, okay. We have elixir. We have the sun dancers, which represent joyful activity, abundance, and celebration of life. Okay, this is sun dancer. Dancers, I should pluralize that. Sun dancers. We have revealing radiance, which says, my light illuminates the world. Okay. Okay. And we have man holding heart. Okay. Okay. And man holding heart. Okay. Okay. So the thing that stands out to me with this right now is that part of the situation part of the situation is coming from the need to release and let go of the things that have caused you to feel guilt and remorse. Okay, getting here obviously because Elixir kind of explicitly says that. This card explicitly says that. Excuse me. There were decisions that you made, maybe in the heat of the moment, maybe in, after some reflection. But what I'm trying to say is that you made the best decision you could, and you only had so much to work with in the moment, okay? You had to make a decision, and it did have an effect, but maybe it wasn't the effect you were hoping for. It wasn't the effect you thought was going to happen. Okay. And you've held on to this, I think, for a little bit too long. Okay. And the changes that we talked about from our focus energy are coming from the need to let this go. Okay. Let some of this go. I'm making it sound easy. No. It might be easier said than done. I think perhaps there might be a connection that you have either with a masculine energy or a male figure in your life that kind of got affected by your decision. Okay, and this might resonate with you if you have if you have some sensitivities or if you're feeling really down about this situation is the point here. Okay, and it caused this other person to feel hurt. And again, remember, I said that you had to make a choice, and it was a decision either you made in the heat of the moment or after a pause and reflection. Either way, it was the best decision you could make with what you had in that moment. Okay. Letting this go. Again, I say not particularly easy. Okay. But it is time. Okay. It is time because you have the opportunity of releasing the hurt, of letting go. Okay. So that you can find your light again. Okay, you can find what brings you joy, what makes you happy. Okay. Well, let me hold up both cards because I basically just said that, and it's relevant for these both cards here. Letting it go, finding your light again, finding the things that bring you joy and happiness. Okay. Part this is scary. I think part of this really has you holding on to what was because it's safe, it's comfortable, it's familiar, it's hopeful that things can go back to what could be considered normal. Air quoting that because it's not going to be the same as it was before. Okay, it was here. Here's the decision. Now it's here. Okay, how do you reconcile this gap right in here? Okay, I don't know how to answer that question for you. Okay, I can't answer that question for you. Hopefully there will come a time where you let yourself accept what happened and maybe make a different choice if the same situation is presented to you again. Okay. Hopefully, hopefully that makes sense. Let's see some tarot. Let's see some tarot cards. What do we need to see from this? Okay, what do we need to see? Let's see what's coming through from our tarot. Okay. 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 I'm going to start with our star. Okay, we're looking at the star. Okay. Okay. I'm going to see the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, here's our Knight of Pentacles. Okay. And we're seeing the King of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, King of Pentacles. Okay. Well, the first bit of advice that I'm hearing here is to get rooted again. Get rooted. I'm getting here because we have two pentacle cards, two kind of high level pentacle cards, and because pentacles are all about, well, they're associated with the element of earth, but they are also about growing, very very much associated with resources, money, um, again, like I said, earth, right? So, also the message of, yes, getting rooted, take it slow. Okay, you don't have to do this work in one fell swoop. That's not going to make things work any faster. It's not going to make things work any better. Okay, said, because we have the Knight of Pentacles here, and this Knight of Pentacles is kind of a slow poke, right? It's a slow poke energy, but it's for an important reason, okay? Because you've worked hard to grow. You're at a certain point in your growth where you might be asking yourself, well, do I keep going or do I continue do I stop for a minute? I'm feeling, I feel like you're gonna say, hey, let's slow down, let's stop for a moment, let's let the little roots get deep, okay? Because that's part of what I think you're trying to do here, okay? And let's talk about the King of Pentacles, okay? Because the King of Pentacles is, I always say this is someone who knows who they are, okay? They know their value, they know their resources, they know their ability to manifest and to be creative, okay? This is your chance to accept this part of your journey, okay? Accept yourself. Remember, okay, we have this radiance card, revealing radiance, okay? Um, here are two cards together. I think these two cards are saying, hey, you know what? You have a light in you that shines and it's unique and beautiful and it's unlike anybody else's, okay? And you are worth letting that light shine, okay? You're worth the effort it takes to give your soul a little bit of polish, okay? Okay, another thing I want to point out here, there's the sun motif in this card, okay? There's a lot of light, okay? And because, it takes metal to make coins. You can make them out of other things. But I'm highlighting the idea of metal because you can shine metal, okay? You can bring it out, okay? There's something in you that's being called to come out, to be revealed, okay? And again, that comes on the heels of major change. Scary, very scary. Take it slow, take it easy, do take action where you can, but also know that you have what it takes to manifest this energy at this time. Okay? Okay? The other thing I want to talk about here is that this might feel really scary and dark and uncomfortable. Okay? But you have a means. Let me pull that card back up here. You have a means of navigating this here. Okay? Because your star is your true north. Okay? Your light is your true north. You already have a pinpoint to go towards. okay? And it might feel strange and weird. Everything might feel dark, okay? But here is where, yeah, you're being shown the way through, okay? And it's coming from you letting yourself shine that light forward, okay? Okay. So let's see what else we need to see here. What else do we need to see? Okay, what else do we need to see, please? What else do we need to see? Okay, so we have our Ten of Swords, which, okay, kind of heartbreaking to see this, but we're seeing it nonetheless. Here's Ten of Swords. Okay, we've got Ten of Swords. Okay. All right, we've got Ten of Swords. Got the Page of Wands. Okay, we've got our Page of Wands. It's a cute card. Haven't seen this card before. Okay. And we have the Nine of Coins. Okay, censored because there is nudity in this deck, so don't want to get flagged from YouTube here, but we have the Nine of Coins. Okay, highlighting the Nine of Coins first, you're safe, you put in some work, it's starting to pay off. Okay, it really is starting to pay off. Okay, but there's something here that tells me you're not really ready for this change because there's a sense of finality and just complete ending once you get to a certain point. Okay, and I think you've gotten used to the way certain things have gone for you. Okay, you've gotten used to a routine kind of feeling here. Yeah, you've gotten used to a routine here. Now that that's being kind of called into question, it's kind of being brought up for you. It's not been particularly comfortable to accept or to deal with, right? It's like, oh, point A has to have some changes made to it, and it's like, does it really though? Like you're questioning. I'm safe. I'm comfortable here. Do I really need to make these changes, or can I stay in my little bubble? Well, here's the thing. Okay, you can do that. You can. That's an option. Consider it. Right? It's a choice to make. Okay, but we have this Page of Wands here. Okay, and I think you are you're also experiencing an increase in creative energy. All right, and that's there's some choices to make with that energy. It's asking you to really kind of sit there and assess what might be the best thing for you in terms of how you move forward on your creative goals. And this is part of where I think the question is coming in, because I feel like you're the kind of person who really wants to achieve this thing, but you don't want to do this at the expense of potential loss, of lack, of inadequacy. All right, you don't want to feel like you can't, so you might choose to stay comfortable instead of pursue the creative thing, right? You have this Page of Wands here. Now, this is the Wands suit to me is all, because it's associated with the element of fire here. It's all about sparking the passion, putting the spark to the firewood, right? What if you can't get the spark going? What if you can't? Well, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I'm the kind of person who will cheerlead you into oblivion if you let me, right? Um, yes, you can. Okay, but you you need to give yourself a minute. Give yourself a minute to process. Okay. All right. Give yourself a minute to process, and even if this Ten of Swords energy comes in, okay, there might be something in your situation that needs to end, even if it's painful to let it happen. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what else what else do we need to see? Okay. What else do we need to see? What else do we need to see? Okay, you're coming out. What else do we need to see? Okay. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to see the Two of Swords. Alright, you've got the Two of Swords. Interesting. Two of Swords. Okay. We have the Three of Swords. Ooh. Have the Three of Swords. Okay. There's our Three of Swords. Okay. And we have the Eight of Wands. Okay. There's our Eight of Wands. All right. So remember how I talked about there was a decision that you had to make, and it affected somebody else in your situation. I think the cards we just saw, the Two of Swords, Three of Swords, and the Eight of Wands, I think this is where this decision could be addressed. Okay. And please know I'm here with you. If you're experiencing some distress because of this, please click off. Go take care of yourself, please. Okay. You had some information come in, maybe a little bit too quickly for your comfort. Okay. This Eight of Wands, there's a lot of energy coming through with this. Okay. And I want to highlight, because that circular shape in the deep background of this card kind of looks like a pupil, an eye. There was something that you started seeing in your situation that I think you might have just reacted to rather than analyzed and gave yourself the chance to really look at. Okay. Okay. So again, split decision made kind of on a snap. And like I said a bit ago, decision was the best decision you could have made in that moment with what you had. Okay. Doesn't mean it had positive results. Okay. Really doesn't mean it had positive results. In fact, let me bring up the Ten of Swords here too. There's a lot of hurt here. Okay. And actually, that's why I just said go take care of yourself if you can't continue with this reading. Okay. That's totally fine. I've got plenty more if you want to see more. But where this Three of Swords comes in is that there's hurt from all sides. It feels like just everything's coming at you too quick. Okay. And you might feel, that's a spider motif here. You might feel like you're holding on by a thread. Okay. Fair. That's fair. And I'm sorry to see it, but here's what you need to know. That thread might be thin, but it is still very strong. Okay? It's strong enough to understand that you did what you thought was right in the moment. Okay? You did what you thought was right in the moment. I don't think your moral compass certainly is not broken. Okay? But this decision did not have good results. Okay? And now you're being faced with the choice of whether to stay comfortable, whether to make changes. Are you accepting them or are you avoiding them? And are you avoiding them so you can stay comfortable? Okay? I'm asking those questions here. But you also have the Two of Swords, which could indicate that you're not really sure how to answer these questions yet because you don't have all of the information. That is okay. That is okay because you're being presented with an opportunity to let yourself pause and reflect. Okay? Let yourself pause and reflect. Okay? It's okay. You know what? In fact, I would highly advocate you give yourself a chance to rest. Okay? This decision that you tried to make in the spur of the moment, the emotional toll of this has really given you a knock. Okay? It's really not feeling great for you right now. I would venture to say. I don't speak for you, and you can leave it in the comments if you feel safe to. My point is to give yourself the chance to rest. Okay? Rest and reflect. Okay? Let's move on. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense, but let's move on and see what else we need to see here. Okay. I do have some hidden and clarifying energies, and hopefully that'll put everything together for us, but let's see what else we need to see. Okay. Okay, you want to come out. You want to come out here. Let's see what else we need to see. What else do we need to see? Okay. Alrighty. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We have the Eight of Swords. Okay. We have the Eight of Swords. Okay. Really quickly, the number 8 might be a significant. The number 8 might be a significant number too. So if you're interested in numerology, let me know what the number 8 might mean for you guys. Okay, we have the Eight of Swords. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords. Okay. Yeah, we've got the Nine of Swords. Ooh-wee. And we have the Page of Swords as well. Okay. Ooh, bestie. You're in a bit of a mental pitfall here. And that pitfall is giving you a lot of problems. A lot of problems in that you have so much, you're building up, you're in a pressure cooker of your own mind right now. Okay? And I'm getting here with this Nine of Swords. This is stress, anxiety. This is stress. This is anxiety. You might be up at night just worrying and oh my God, what am I gonna do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Pause. Take it slow. This is why you're getting the Knight of Wands here. Take it slow. Okay, you gotta slow down. Okay, this energy will still be here. You're getting a lot of it. Okay, and I get that that's what's really stressing you out. That's giving you a lot of energy that maybe you don't know what to do with right now. Don't know what to do with it. You're feeling trapped. You're feeling trapped in it. Okay. Again, this is why you're getting the Knight of Swords here, because you're being asked to, like, hey, bestie, you're doing a lot. You're trying to do the most. Okay. Slow down. Slow down. Take it easy. You have a chance in all of this to pause and reflect. Okay, it's okay. It's okay to slow down. There's a lot of change happening. That energetic change is still going to be there when you get back. Okay? I think I've said what I'm going to say here. I will say, as someone who does this to myself too, I am notoriously bad at managing when things become too energetic for me. But here's the message for you and for myself here. We're not trapped in this like we think we are. Okay? This Eight of Wands. What I want you to realize here is that in this card, it's portrayed as her shoulders, just up here is tied up. The rope's only falling here. Guess what else you have? Hi, my arms are free. I can take the blindfold off. I can take these binds away, right? I have what I need already. Even if I don't see it, I have what I need already, and I can get myself out of this mental trap. Okay? You might not be at that point yet, and that is okay. Okay? The main message here is let yourself pause, let yourself slow down. Okay? Pause and slow down, because these things don't hold you as tightly as you believe they do. Okay? Okay? Things don't hold you as tightly as you believe they do. And this is a good chance to pause and reflect where you are. Okay? I want you to notice this character. I think this might have been an artistic choice on the part of the creator of this deck. I want to highlight the fact that the underside of this character's eyes are red. So I think there's been a lot of crying, a lot of tears, and it's just a personal thing again for me, but I get so splotchy and red after I've had a good cry. And I think either that might be the case for some of you, that you've just had a lot of emotion that you're releasing and purging. But it's been healthy, but it's leaving space for this change to happen. Okay. Again, though, I'm going to reiterate it. Take it easy. Take it slow. This is a lot. Okay. This is a lot. What's going on underneath all of this? How can we? What do we need to see? What do we need to see here? Okay, what's going on underneath? Oh, okay. Okay. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about that. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. We've got the Hanged Man. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man. Okay, we've got the Hanged Man. All right. We've got the Four of Cups. Okay, got the Four of Cups. Okay, and we have the Lovers. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the lovers here because at the very beginning I mentioned there was somebody else involved that got kind of affected by the decision you had to make. Okay, again, this decision might have come on the spur of the moment, bringing in a lot of changes. There's a lot of emotions and a lot of things attached with this decision. Um, here's what might have here's the thing that it might have affected. Okay, some of you could be in external relationships. I'm saying that because you might have a partner, you might have a significant person in your life that this decision affected. Another thing about this, I think you made the decision without having all of the pieces in place. Okay. I did talk about pursuing instant gratification at the very beginning in the focus energy. So I think that was part of your decision making process is what's going to give me the highest amount of gratification in this moment. Okay. And that led to a lot of disappointment, clearly a lot of hurt, because it wasn't just your process that got affected. There was somebody else involved. Okay. And the aftermath of this decision was that you were presented with something that didn't quite jive. Okay. Didn't quite connect. Okay. And like, ow, disappointment. Okay. Disappointment for you, major disappointment for this other person. Okay. All right. This is where this all of this pain and hurt and needing to process. That's where I think all of the previous cards came into play here. Okay. I do think even if you made this choice out of a need for instant gratification or things like that, I think you did have a spark of understanding that, okay, making the best decision in the moment with what I have, and this is why, but also you had, I do think you had a little bit of, forethought in that I'm going to make this decision right now, but I'm hoping for the best, right? Because here's the Ten of Pentacles here. This could have been a bad financial decision, okay? Saying because we do have a number of Pentacle cards in this reading, but I do think you did have a spark of long-term thinking in that if I make this decision now, maybe my family and my ability to take care of them won't be as affected as, that that's for you. That's why I'm seeing the Ten of Pentacles coming in here. Okay. Either way, okay, either way, you are going to have to pause and let yourself process because your perspective on the situation has you kind of head over heels. You're not seeing or heels over head, right? I'm just talking about the card here. This character is putting their body in a way that I can't do. Certainly not flexible like that. The point is that things feel a little bent, things feel a little bit twisted, things feel weird, right? And the Hanged Man is asking you to let it ride for a little bit, okay? Let yourself process, take it slow. Don't try and do this processing in one fell swoop because it's not gonna I don't see it working properly for you. But understand that this is your chance to see your situation from a different angle. Okay? And that's probably what you need to do right now. In fact, I very strongly think that's what you need to do right now, is kind of work to reframe the situation. Okay? That was our hidden energy. What the hell can we do to clarify everything? Oracles, focus, main energy. What can we do to clarify all of that? Okay? Let's clarify, because boy howdy, it feels like we need a lot of clarity right now. Let's not rush it. Let's not rush the clarity. Let's bring it in slowly. Let's see what we need to see. Okay? Okay. Eight of Swords. We're going to start our clarifying energy with the Eight of Swords. Okay? Because once again, we're getting this mental trap. Okay? We're getting this mental trap. All right, here's our Eight of Swords. Okay? Eight of Swords. We have Ace of Wands. Okay, we've got our Ace of Wands. Okay, Ace of Wands. Swords, Ace of Wands. Got the Six of Wands. Okay. And the Six of Wands. Okay. Now the Six of Wands, and we have the Three of Swords. Okay. And so Wands and the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords are repeating cards. So there's definitely a mental pitfall that we're falling into, because the fallout of a decision that we made is causing us pain. It's affecting others. What do we do? What do we do with it, man? This sucks. This hurts. Reminder from our Eight of Swords here. We're not as trapped in it as we believe. Okay, we don't, we may have to pause and reflect, but we don't have to stay in that comfort zone. Okay, we really don't have to stay in that comfort zone. Okay, this isn't easy. This isn't comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Okay, because we're meant to, I feel like we're meant to really get deep with ourselves and try and understand what we're about, how we can make the most of our energy right now. Okay. But I think it's also a chance to figure out what we can do differently, how we can channel our energies a little bit differently. Okay. Saying that because we have this Ace of Wands here, there's a new opportunity to spark something into growth. Okay. Spark something new into growth. Okay. It's going to take a lot of release, a lot of purging, a lot of just, maybe this is a good, healthy cry. Just let your under eyes get red a little bit and just cry it out. Okay. Cry it out. It's okay. You're safe. You're protected. And in all of that purging, maybe you get a little bit of guidance on how to do this far more safely than you did in the past. Okay. Okay. Now, even if you made a decision that got you face first in the dirt here, there are people who are seeing your efforts, who are seeing you try. Okay. And the Six of Wands is like, hey, that person is doing the best that they can, and I want to applaud them. Remember, I said I'm the biggest cheerleader of a person ever, right? I will cheerlead you into oblivion if you let me, right? Repeated, because here's our Six of Wands. You're making the effort. You really are trying to make these changes stick, okay? But it's hard, and you're not a machine. You're only human. You're doing the best you can, okay? Um, People see that. People do see the effort you're putting in, okay? Um, it's just a matter of letting yourself really sit and rest with that energy. Let yourself rest. Let yourself process, and eventually, the anxiety, the pain, the sleepless nights, all of those, they will heal. Here's the caveat to what I'm saying, why I'm saying this here. I don't want you bypassing the situation. Okay? I don't want you bypassing the situation because it's happening. It's happening. You're having trouble denying that it's happening. And you shouldn't do that because you will stagnate yourself and you will keep yourself from achieving your biggest and most wild goals. Okay? Um, again, this did affect you. You made a decision that affected what's going on right now. Okay? But you don't have to stay. You don't have to stay in the mire. Okay? You don't have to stay in the mire. Excuse me. Okay? Let's pause. I'm gonna call for a hydration break because I've been talking a lot. Reminder, get some water in your system if you haven't already. Okay? All right. So we've got all of our main energy hidden, clarifying. Let's see what we need to see for our bonus reading. Then we will cut it off from there. So, bonus reading before we call it quits here. We have Odaz, which represents resistance, fearlessness, and justification. Would you read that? Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. There is Odaz. We have the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, which represents discernment, clear vision, and details. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. We have Believing in Magic, which says true magic is abounding in my life. Okay. All right. And we have Envy. Okay. Okay, we have Envy. Come on, Meg, you got this. We also have Envy. Okay. So, for some of you, especially if you're just coming into this bonus reading, for some of you, you have a very strong belief in your own ability to manifest. Okay? I'm saying here because we have believing in magic. There's a lot of self-belief in this here, and I love to see it. I love to see it because that means that you're very self-assured as a person. You're very confident. You know what you're doing. You know what you're trying to do. Okay, and this is this is important. Okay, this is important for you because you have a number of things that are telling you to kind of stay with it. Stay in that energy. Stay in that magical manifesting energy here. Okay, you have envy and you have this ringmaster of scrutiny. Okay, there are people who are trying to put you under a microscope. Okay, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of people outside you maybe making you feel like putting you under a microscope. That's the energy of like, okay, they're saying A, B, and C. Well, let me really nitpick and see whether they mean it. Do you mean it? Do you really mean what you're going to do here? Do you really mean you're going to make this thing happen? Right? That's coming from the scrutiny, this maybe overly extreme attention to the detail. Okay? But I also think this is coming from a place outside of you. This is from other people now, where they're envying this energy that you're bringing in right now, this manifesting magical energy. Okay, this energy of making things happen. They don't have it like you do. They have it like they have it for themselves. That's not bad. They have their own unique magical way of making things happen for themselves, but they're seeing you and being like, well, why can't I do that? Why can't I be like that? They're not you. They are their own person. They are their own magical, amazing person. They're feeling like they have to latch onto your energy because of their anxiety, of their inadequacy, of their sense of those things. That's all perceived from them. Okay? That's not a reflection on you. Okay? What this is, and what I just said of that, you know that. You're standing in your own energy. And it's not that you're being malicious or ill-intended by being there, okay? It's allowing you to sit in quiet resistance of that energy, okay? For everybody that's trying to bring you down, you're saying, no, actually, you got to do part of what I'm doing is for myself. The thing that you want to do has to be done because you put the energy in it, not because you're taking from me and not because you're trying to get me to do your work. Okay? You're resisting letting yourself be brought down by this envy, by this scrutiny. Okay? It's not about you. Okay? It's not about you and it's not about them, but these other people outside of work, outside of you, have to do the work you're doing for yourself. Those other people have to do it for themselves. Okay? They're in separate lanes. Here's yours, here's theirs. You're staying here. Okay? Let's see what our tarot has to say. Then we will call it quits. Okay? All right. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands. Okay, there's the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands again. Okay, Knight of Wands. All right, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay. And we have the Four of Wands. There's a lot of fire. A lot of fire. I love to see this. I love to see this because not only are you taking action on the things that are bringing you joy, passion, inspiration. Certainly, there's a lot of inspiration here. Okay. But you're recognizing an opportunity to really channel this and really make something happen of this. I feel like some of you are highly creative people here, highly creative, highly productive people. Okay, getting here because fire, creative energy, passionate, burning energy here, and a lot of it. Okay, um, there's an opportunity to put that to good use, to really good use here. Okay, um, and you need to be aware that there's a foundation under your feet. You have a safe place to let this energy burn. Okay, be careful. Okay, I'm feeling compelled to say be very careful in how much you're doing and how often you're doing it. Okay, because we have these Knight of Wands cards here. There's a lot of burning, passionate energy, like I just said. Excuse me, like I just said. Okay, um, it be careful, because I feel like you can burn yourself out quickly if you're not, if you're not staying aware. Okay, and again, a lot of really good energy came through with this bonus reading. I love that there's a lot of passion here. Okay, that there's a lot of passion here, and I do think that there's an opportunity for you to keep doing what you're doing. Okay, in spite of these dummies trying to get out of their lane. Okay. Hopefully that made sense. I am going to call it quits for this reading for this week. But if you made it this far in, thank you. You are an absolute champion, and I love you guys for being here. Let me know if this reading resonated, and I'm happy to know if it did, or even if it didn't. Thank you for being here. I love you guys. I will see you next week with a new one, but until then, stay safe, stay blessed. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye, everybody.